You know, I was doing some reading recently and came across some very interesting studies that have been done by neuroscientists and brain scientists and these guys. Here's the theory. It's kind of mind-boggling, and it shows why it's so important to be careful about what you think about, because your attitude, your energy, your thoughts can easily kind of, you know, project themselves onto other people, and they can get kind of a good vibe, a trustworthy vibe, or a panicked vibe, right? Or a kind of a fearful vibe. So what happens is that when our brain, when we have a thought, many brain scientists believe that we send off brain waves, right? Just like radio waves. And if you think about a radio wave, you're thinking about, in this studio right now, there are radio waves that are coming through here, all different types of radio waves. Now, we can't hear any radio stations right now because we don't have a radio. We have the signals, we have the radio waves, but we don't have a receiver. But if I brought in a radio and I tuned it into the right frequency to a certain radio station, I would hear the music or whatever's on that radio, right? Now, the radio did not make the radio waves, the signals. They were already here. The radio simply intercepted the signals. And when the radio station was on the same frequency as the radio wave, you hear music. Well, again, many brain scientists think that our brain, when we have a thought, sends off radio waves, brain waves. And what happens sometimes is that there are certain people in your life that will sometimes dial in, for lack of a better word, to the same frequency. And when they're on the same frequency, you kind of connect through the radio waves, just like the radio and the radio waves. It's why sometimes you might be thinking about a friend or a family member, and then all of a sudden the phone rings. You ever had that happen? It's pretty crazy, huh? It's because in that moment you guys were connected on the same frequency with the same, you know, the radio waves, the radio receiver were connected. So here's the thing. When you're talking to a homeowner, they can connect with the emotions, with the positivity or the negativity you're feeling. I was having a conversation with a selling tech last week, and he was telling me that he would set a lead, he had a bad tendency, he would walk out of the house, and he would think, man, they're just not going to buy when the sales guy gets out here. They're going to think it's too expensive, and they're going to freak out when they see our prices. I'm probably not going to sell it. Guess what? He was right. He went through a stretch of about 6 or 7 leads, he said, and not a single one of them sold. Then we had this conversation, and I told him that he has to be positive. When he's sitting there with that homeowner, you got to be thinking, man, they're going to buy from us. They're going to be warm and receptive to our message, to our value, to our prices. They're going to accept the recommendations. They're going to sign up with us. He thought I was crazy. But he agreed to go out and do it. He went out and did it for the next few days, and his next 4 leads, every one of them sold. And he visualized it and imagined them doing it before it ever happened. Now, I know that sounds like hocus pocus, but here's the reality. In that moment, when you're talking to a homeowner, they're going to get a vibe from you. They're going to get a vibe. It's energy. It's brain waves, right? It's not, mystical. It's not, superstitious. It's neurology. They're going to get a vibe on your energy. Do you believe in what you're selling? Do you believe in what you're offering? Do you believe in your company? Do you believe what you're doing? Or are you having second thoughts? Because if you're having second thoughts, if you're not sure, I guarantee you, your homeowner isn't going to be sure either. They're not going to have the confidence. They're not going to have the belief. They're not going to have the conviction in your company, your products, your services. As a result, they may not buy from you. So you have to understand your mindset is so critically important to your success in life. If there's any one thing that I attribute my success in the last 15 years of going from a homeless shelter to all the success I've had, it's because I changed my mindset. I assume things are going to work out. I always think positive. When I'm looking at a person, looking at a situation, I assume it's going to work out for the better. So when you're talking to that customer, you can't have doubts in your mind. You got to believe. You got to believe in your company. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your prices. You got to make sure you have the right mindset to be successful regardless of the challenges that you're facing.